over a lot of control in the mid lane, and we actually saw Icon do just that, where the enemy team can dictate the side lane, can push in, go for aggressive plays, and I don't think we'll be seeing it in this game, and if we do, I think it could actually be to the detriment of whoever selects it.
Well, the Nidalee has been removed, and the AD carry version of Nidalee has also been removed. Varus maintaining his 100% ban rate in the LPL, but the Thresh has been taken off the board as well. So, SMLZ, your work is going to be cut out for you. No free repositioning for you. Set as a ban is kind of an interesting one from OMG.
Well, don't forget, Meiko had a fantastic performance on it in their last series as well, and a lot of aggression in that bottom lane, setting up really well, but Yuumi banned away, Kalista left open, and they'll be gobbled up nice and quickly by SMLZ. We still have a lot of those top-tier junglers left open, the Braves, the Trundle, these kind of guys, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the likes of that one of these junglers locked in. Potential for the Aphelios is here in this second pick too.
Yep, Kalista, the one to be locked in to start things off, and the answer likely to be that Aphelios. These have been the two. These are the Misfortune and Varus of this meta.
The great news for EDG, though, is you're giving this Aphelios to Hope, one of the best team-fighting AD carries that the LPL has right now. So if there's anyone that's going to be able to carry these late-game fights, it will be the man in the bottom lane for EDG.
You'd certainly hope so. Oh,
God.
As we move further into the draft, though, wouldn't be surprised to see something in the jungle here, and it is going to be that Graves immediately locked in. I promise I had started that sentence. I was going to say jungle before he started hovering it.
And now it does make the most sense. We just said it. There's no reason to try and show your hand here. Keep the likes of your top laners in check. See what way OMG want to go with these two picks here. And a lot of teams prioritizing that support counter pick as well, becoming very important in just dictating the pace of that bottom side of the map. Now we're looking though at OMG going towards the Syndra, super strong blind pick at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised to see potential go towards some of these more early game junglers as well. The likes of the Jarvan could work super well for Hacker if they're going to go for the Syndra and all in on this mid game team fighting style.
It's going to be the Lee Sin for Hacker, instantly locked in there. Bear in mind, Zoe's still available as well. That was something that was banned a lot in the last series, but Scout says no. He's going for the Galio in that mid lane.
So Galio works super well against the Syndra because it's really hard to take you down. You've got good push power against the Syndra, and as well, that shield on the ultimate now is really good at just keeping your other teammates safe. Will give a lot of backline support as well to the Aphelios, even to this Graves. And if you do see some of the more aggressive top laners like a Renekton or a Wukong coming out from that OMG side, you've now been able to dissuade that a little bit thanks to this Galio.
So far across this draft, it's feeling like OMG really have to be the ones dictating the pace here, because we've got three very strong mid-game characters for them. On the other side, EDG, a lot more late-game prowess, especially with that Aphelios, and the Graves going to be scaling exceptionally well. So OMG are going to have their work cut out in the early game at least. As we move towards the bans here, it's going to be Bard and Wukong.
I'd like to see EDG kind of double down on this team fighting style, though. You get, oh, actually, I was about to say go for the Wukong, which has been banned off, but go for something that can still have these big impact team fights. The Ornn is gone, though. The Wukong's gone, and now you're really starting to drift down the list of big engaged top lane.
I mean, when you think about it, one of the other options would have theoretically been Set, right? Set's banned as well, so OMG not wanting Aodi to have any kind of impact towards the top side. I mean, you can go further. You can go on to things like the Hecarim potentially, things like even the Maokai does have a good sort of way to be that front line in the top side.
Well, we have to see what they do decide to go for here. Looks like they're going to leave that counter pick top lane for Aodi, and I like this. I mean, Aodi is someone that definitely does well when you're able to give him a little bit more attention from JunJia in that top lane. Potential to set up for some great ganks as well.
We're going to see Aatrox versus Renekton.
Renekton's banned.
I've got a feeling. Is it?
That's going to be a hard one.
Oh,
we do see a Renekton ban,
I'm blind. I'm completely blind. We're going to see Jace versus Aatrox. We'll see. We'll see what we see at the top lane, but we get the Nautilus in the hands of Meiko. That's going to protect the Aphelios. This is a duo that we've seen 100 times at this point. Aphelios with the Nautilus. And now, Taric, Kalista. This was busted in spring.
It is very, very strong. And I think if you pair with something like the Aatrox here for Curse, this is a very strong mid-game composition, that team fighting composition for OMG. You also lend a lot more initiation to this Aatrox thanks to that Taric pick. So this is OMG going all in this 2-item spike and trying to fight for these early dragons, early Rift Heralds, and really run away with this game.
I don't want to claim to be some kind of prophet actor, but when half of the pool is banned away, I'm really good at predicting the 2 remaining meta champions. It is going to be the Aatrox, or Aatrox, or Aatrox, whatever you want to call it, for OMG. And EDG on the other side. Not going to go for the Jace. I've been ruined.
I don't think the Jace would have really fit the style that they're going for here.
I don't either. I just want it to be right, you know?
Yeah, well, look, they're going for a little bit of a later scaling where you've got that Graves who will outscale Hacker. You've got the Aphelios as well who's going to end up in those later game fights having a bigger impact. So going towards the likes of this Mordekaiser, again, doubling down on, hey, we want to be able to win in these later engagements, but also try and counteract some of this big engage that might come through from the likes of this Aatrox, because if you're able to tear Aatrox into the death realm, you shut down some of these more nuisance plays that are coming through on the OMG side, or even if you pull Sora into the death realm as well, don't forget you can take out that big anti-engage tool on their side.
Well, I'm liking the composition that OMG have drafted for themselves here because it's a mid-game comp. It's a team fight comp. It's a let's make things happen comp. They've got this Taric Kalista in the bottom lane that love to go for these brawls, with a Lee Sin, with an Aatrox that want to jump into the action as well. I'm excited to see how they execute and if they're going to be proactive enough in the early game. On the other side, though, if EDG can hold things off, they've got Aphelios.
They have Aphelios, they've got a Graves as well that is going to do super well. So again, it's EDG kind of going, okay, let's see if JunJia can control this Lee Sin nice and early where he's able to clear very quickly, start to get his own snowball rolling just on that experience, on the gold he collects from his camps, and maybe get to that later game point where if Hacker, I'm assuming he definitely needs to get some of these early ganks off to try and set up OMG for success, but if he's losing camps and isn't able to make these ganks work in the early stages, Hacker will very quickly find himself way too far behind to be much of an impact in this game. So I think EDG here, we'll have to keep our eyes on how JunJia punishes Hacker when he goes for these early plays.
Going to keep our eyes on Hacker in that matchup up against JunJia in the jungle. It's going to be Graves versus Lee Sin as well, so relatively hype matchup. Both of these guys happy to go for duels in the early game. And as we head onto the Rift, it's OMG on our blue side to start things off here against EDG. And EDG, it feels like the favorite coming into this series based on previous results here. But both teams relatively untested still. We've only seen a couple of series.
We've seen 2 series from OMG that really haven't looked that hot. So
yeah.
This is for me, OMG needing to step up to the plate. They need to go, right, we've started to figure out our issues. We've now got this mid-game comp. We need to make these plays happen. If they can, and off the back of Icon, who should be able to at least shove in this wave in the early stages and try and move quickly towards skirmishes and River, maybe they can do it. But again, they are on a little bit of a window because Scout's Ultimate, when that is up and available, is going to make that skirmish style suit EDG a lot more.
It's worth mentioning as well that, you know, while OMG have lost their first 2 series of the LPL, they've got 16 series to play this split. So there's plenty of time to recover if they can solve their issues. And as you rightly say, they're going to have plenty of time to do that. They've got Panda behind them, their coach, that will be helping them work on those issues behind the scenes. And with this kind of composition, I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more of the aggressive OMG, a little bit more from Hacker especially, on putting their foot down, setting the tempo that they want to play at.
And Hacker has been, so far for OMG, a little bit more consistent than the rest of the squad. So Hacker, I'll be looking to get these early ganks off. Going from blue to Gromp down towards his red. Ooh, hang on.
Stun onto Hope. That's a lot of stacks on the rend as well. Hope barely surviving this fight. SMLZ will walk away with his life as well. It's going to be both AD carries taking heavy damage, but bear in mind Kalista, he's going to be able to redo that trade in just a moment.
The thing here, though, is you've got Hacker pathing towards bot side, whereas JunJia is moving up towards the top, more than likely going to finish clearing out this jungle, potential for a gank on Aodi top side. But realistically, Hacker, I want to see if he's going to try and punish this low health Aphelios, or at least try and burn some summoner spells as this bounce back happens in the bottom side.
That'll be the question on what Hacker does next, whether he's going to be able to make some moves on the map, because bear in mind, JunJia on this Graves is a lot faster at farming the jungle. If it's just a neutral jungle, expect JunJia to find a lead for himself.
Won't be able to just yet, thanks to SMLZ trading effectively in the bottom side, because you do have the heals that are going to come through from this Taric, so the sustain is stronger for SMLZ and Sora, and now they can help as you can see here, with just where Sora's hiding, and making sure that Lee Sin is able to collect this scuttle. So it'll be even Steven when it comes to jungle camps, at least at this point in the game. But watch that top side of the map, because Curse is really far overextended, and Aodi's doing a good job of holding the wave in a place.
This is one of the things about Curse. He's the kind of top laner that if he's got a chance at a 1v1, he will go for it, but it means he can be caught out too far up. JunJia starts the fight onto him, forces the flash, doesn't have end of the line available. Curse survives, but it costs him a summoner.
And that was the issue, was not being able to crash that wave properly meant that Aodi freezes it right in front of his tower, and he's in the perfect spot now. You can't make a play as Hacker towards top side, and hasn't been able to get onto the bottom side either.
Hope just popped his heal while he was definitely not in range. Maybe expecting a flash from Sora, but even if you are, I don't think heal's going to save you at that point.
Look, it's better to play it safe as EDG in this situation. May not be ideal, but definitely, as long as they're not giving kills over in these early stages and allowing Hacker to scale ahead, or not scale ahead, but get OMG ahead, then EDG is in good shape.
We'll see if they're going to be in good shape, if they've been going to the gym during their off-season over the course of this early game. I'm excited for once Scout hits that level 6 mark, because you have to bear in mind that with OMG running this composition that wants to be aggressive, they want to be the ones kind of setting the pace, as I said before. Galio is really good at ruining that for you.
So there's a couple of different things that are ruining it for OMG right now. You had that flash burn by Curse in the top lane, which really sucks, because it'd be great if you could flash tether on towards Mordekaiser, try to get some of these summoner spells out, but because Aodi had held that wave close to the tower, can't really make any plays happen as Hacker. Now when you're talking about that mid lane as well, Scout, so difficult to kill in this. Galio, even though he hasn't gone for the Aftershock, he has access to a bunch of these summoner spells like heals, like the barriers that can keep him safe. And Hope and Meiko at the moment have frozen this wave underneath the tower. They're not moving anywhere and giving Hacker that opportunity to make plays.
And you know, SMLZ and Sora would love to be aggressive in that 2v2, but when the wave is basically underneath EDG's tower, there's no opportunity to do that. And it means that it kind of neutralizes the advantages of having this Kalista in the first place.
And look at Scout now. Hit that level 6, he's pushing in effectively, especially with that minion dematerializer stacks down. And now he's just starting to rotate. He's just trying to create pressure by jumping into this river. Although, needs to be careful.
Ooh, he gets away with it. On his wings there, dashes away with the Justice Punch. Means he's going to be safe. The Drake available here, Hacker moving in, but JunJia, he knows what's going on. He wants to steal himself a Scuttle Crab or find himself a kill. Dodges away from the Sonic Wave. Very nicely done from JunJia. In the meantime, Scout gets onto Icon in the mid lane. Actually has way more damage than you'd expect from a Galio. Unleash power on Scout. He's barely surviving the fight. And in goes Hacker. Gets the slow from the cripple. Hope, in the meantime, in the bottom lane, has barely survived some kind of skirmish. Meiko forced away as well. Nobody dies, but EDG forced back.
It was the flash from SMLZ. It looks like it might have been an aggressive flash with the stun, but now in the mid lane,
Aodi has moved down. He wants to make something happen for this Drake. Meiko steps on forward, flashes for the stun. He's looking for a solo kill. Hacker's in trouble. Will get to a blast cone, though. He keeps himself safe.
So a lot of action in the early stages, but nothing comes of it. No kills, but you're still seeing, at least for OMG, this bottom lane CS difference is really starting to ramp up. 10 at the moment. You're still losing all those creeps to the bottom lane turret as well. So SMLZ and Sora are getting advantages for OMG, even if Hacker hasn't quite been able to make it work for them so far.
I'm liking this, though. These teams feeling themselves right now. They're wanting to make aggressive plays. We've got a replay at the bottom left. Stun hit. And that means that they just try and force the fight on this one. Exhaust came through just before the flash, though. So it means that SMLZ doesn't quite have the rend damage.
Surprised to see Hope getting caught out by that. Usually this is a guy who's so good at keeping himself safe in the laning phase, but one missed position and Sora, the new guy for OMG, capitalizing on it.
And his heal will be just about to come off cooldown. Bear in mind, he used that, obviously, when Sora stepped on forwards with the Taric. Somehow got a heal out of Hope. Had he had that heal in the fight, maybe that's a possible 2v2. Maybe not, though.
We'll never know, but
Scout just Justice punched into the wall right in front of him. Oh, dear.
I mean, I feel like you've got enough hours on Galio, you know that that's not a thing. But either way, this is still EDG. Keeping control, making sure nothing is going too awry in these early stages. Now, though, that we've hit the 8-minute mark, you can see pings galore going down in this Rift Herald. And This is a fight that EDG will not want to take, especially as it looks like OMG moving in, trying to see if they can find a pick onto JunJia.
They're looking for a red buff as well. Even if they don't find JunJia, at least they'll find themselves a consolation prize here. But they got a ward. They know JunJia's coming. He knows his red is gone, but dodges the scat of the week. Very nicely done.
Yeah, the second he saw his red buff gone, he knew that OMG were going to be in there. But still, OMG move over towards this Rift Herald. You are not contesting this as EDG. Instead, they're looking to make this play on the bottom side.
They're looking for a fight right now. It's 2v2, but Meiko definitely got the worst of that one. Scout moving down, and this is why Meiko was happy to be aggressive.
You say that, but OMG realized there's something fishy because Meiko went that aggressive. So instead, they back away. They will give turret plates to Hope, so answering for the Rift Herald play on the top side with those plates, potentially with the Dragon as well.
They're going to be able to maybe get 2 plates here with the crescendum from Hope. He's able to just mince through that turret's health bar. Meantime, finishes pushing that turret, but the dredge line goes wide. SMLZ going to be knocked on up. Here comes Galio, and there's a lot of damage coming out from the Aphelios. Taunt to finish it off and a kill to JunJia. Now Sora trying to back away. Curse has come in with the teleport and has a lot of damage. 1v4, he makes it happen. In with the Cosmic Radiance, Sora keeps them at bay. Aodi's arrived, but he's a little bit late because Sora's in trouble, and one more auto for Hope to get another kill. Icon now suddenly on the wrong side of things, and this could be a dive. Hacker is here. The Rift Herald isn't going to help him with this one.
EDG are happy to just back it up. They have 1,000 gold lead off that play, so not wanting to risk more and give some of those kills over to OMG again. This mid-game composition, so as long as they're not getting accelerated, EDG are winning.
And I love that we're seeing Galio being used proactively here, because I said, you know, this is a great way to answer the plays from OMG. It's also a great way to set your own plays up.
And this is the nice trade from EDG. They realize, look, Hacker is going to go towards that Rift Herald. They even spotted him on a ward, so they instantly shove mid, say, look, we're going to give that up. We're going to go gank bot instead. And now you've got 2 turret plates going over towards Hope. He managed to pick those up before multiple members from EDG went down. This Aphelios is nicely getting to some of these big items. Even has the cold there to just accelerate that little bit faster.
He's going to be able to stack that up relatively quickly in this game, as that bottom lane you'd expect to turn into somewhat of a farm fest, especially with summoners on cooldown for both sides. It becomes a lot more dangerous to try and force the issue there, but you do have to bear in mind, as soon as Sora has that Cosmic Radiance available again, they can 2v2.
They can definitely 2v2. The problem is, by the time that Cosmic Radiance is up, Scout has his ultimate up as well. So you're kind of caught in ultimate limbo where you don't want to use your ults because Scout can come down at any point in time.
It's like normal limbo, except like the final version of it.
Yeah. The problem here as well is that OMG, like, how do you try and make these plays happen? You don't have any of these dragons gone down nice and early to force EDG into a fight at around about a third Drake of the 23-22 minute mark. The dragons have been so delayed that EDG now, even if OMG start to very quickly pick these up, they wouldn't be fighting until pushing that 30-minute mark. And it's EDG that are picking up the first dragon anyway.
Easy joke for EDG. They're going to get that Ocean to start things off. And for the 19th time today, we're going to see it's either a Mountain or an Infernal Soul coming out onto the Rift. So we get these high-value dragons for our teams to fight over. And OMG, you'd expect them to be the ones over the next few minutes to really start to try and push the issue when it comes to the dragons.
Well, they have the Rift Herald, right? So this is the first thing I'm looking at them to use is how do they try and get some gold in their favor? Because it's 12 minutes into the game now. Rift Herald is about to teeter off as well. And if you want to get some of these her platings, which OMG definitely want to, they need to toss this down soon. But you don't really want to use it mid because, well, JunJia's going to be able to get there fairly quickly. You're giving a bunch of gold into Icon, who isn't the biggest benefactor of these resources. And in the top lane as well, Curse doesn't really need that gold, but Hope and Meiko are pushing in too aggressively in the bottom side.
Honestly, with how little time there is available on that Rift Herald, and you can see it on the scoreboard there, I say you give it to whoever. You just get the 2 plates that it's going to get you. Give Curse, 160 gold for himself. Just get some kind of work done.
They're going to give it towards Curse, but not actually spotted out. JunJia now moving back down towards this mid lane, moving into the river. So it will be at least these plates going over, but Aodi can clear it out soon afterwards.
Yeah, and you see JunJia was spotted on a ward in that jungle, and it means that instead of trying to sneak up through the brush and trying to make a kill play, they're just going to commit to getting those 2 plates off the back of the head.
And now EDG can clear it out. So few turret plates go over. It's not the end of the world for EDG. Look at the score right now. There's still a couple of 100 gold ahead. They're happy to just keep this one going. And for some reason, Munch, we've got 2 very slow-paced series for ourselves today.
We have, haven't we, Dag?
Yeah.
That's just classic LPL, to be honest.
Look, I don't know where anyone ever said LPL was aggressive. I mean, look at this right here. 14 minutes into the game, 3 kills on the board.
I will say, though, the team with the really aggressive composition is OMG. And OMG haven't exactly looked proactive this split, it has to be said.
Yeah.
So maybe it's less about LPL and it's more about OMG.
And OMG are going to struggle to be proactive because, of course, you do have the likes of this Galio that can make sure that anything that does happen in either side lane is shut down fairly quickly. Really difficult to kill this Galio too because he's got that unsealed spellbook, so he's popping through all these different summoner spells willy-nilly, and you just don't have the opportunity as OMG to try and punish these picks. Now as well, even swapping around, hoping this mid lane means that you're not going to get anything to happen in this mid lane because he's just going to clear out all the time.
So we return to kind of the farm state that we're at. Yeah. We've got Hope moving to the mid lane.
What was it, the Omega Lull state?
The Omega Lull state, yeah. I feel like we should just call it the LCK state here.
Yeah. I think that's fair. We've gone definitely full LCK in this game.
The whole of today has been full LCK, honestly. That
except for
series.
Game 3 of LGD and V5. That one was
honestly,
pretty
even a lot of Game 3 was pretty slow.
True.
We kind of had bursts of action. Actually, no, I take that back. Game 3 was like 25 minutes.
We might have a burst of action. JunJia's going top side.
And he's got Curse in the Death Realm. So Curse can't actually move further away. This isn't really about the 1v1. It's just about keeping him here for JunJia to arrive. Flash comes out immediately. They can't tank the tower, though. They
do get Curse out of the lane, though, and now the ping's immediately down onto the Rift Herald. This is the opportunity for OMG to fight. They have been desperate for this turtling of EDG to break, and if EDG go for this, it would be OMG's lifeline in this game.
Yeah, they know it as well, because OMG already starting this Herald off for themselves, despite it being pulled by EDG. They're going to be the benefactors of this play.
So, I'm saying, because Curse just TP'd to the top side to support them here, but means that now you've got Scout on this bottom lane. He's going to finish off this turret. So, at the end of the day, EDG are trading up for what eventually I'm sure will amount to a tower by OMG, but you're not really that worried at this stage as EDG.
Yeah, you know what, OMG, they're quite happy to take that trade, and with a Herald in the mid lane as well, they might just be able to find themselves a bonus tower here. This is going to be a 1-for-1 trade in terms of the towers in the end, but the Herald not really finding the advantage that OMG were hoping for. Sonic Wave onto Hope, but Hacker not going to be willing to follow that one up. All things considered, it's 1-for-1 on the towers. Slight gold lead still in favor of EDG. Hacker finds himself a bonus chicken, but he finds himself an anchor as well.
OMG would be able to back over towards this dragon now, pick that one up, but it's a Cloud Dragon. Not the end of the world if EDG give that one over. They're still going to just keep pushing around the rest of the map. And potential, actually, as I say that, for EDG to make a play at the dragon off of numbers advantage with Curse up top with no TP.
Not the greatest stun I've ever seen out of Icon. That's going to be a triple dredge line. Meiko has him exactly where he wants him, apparently. Cosmic Radiance used early, and Sora now finds himself alone, but he's going to get pulled in and deleted. Goodbye, Icon. Hello, EDG.
OMG are not finding the plays that they want off of this early game. This is a composition that right now would love to be able to fight, love to be able to scrap, but EDG are playing perfectly around the resources that OMG have available, and now EDG find themselves 2 dragons up, and they're the ones that didn't even have to fight for these dragons.
They're the ones that are just responding right here, because Meiko, all he has to do is auto-attack one guy, and he gets Aftershock and becomes invincible.
And you can see here, look, Aodi's backed right the way up because they know we can just 4v5 this, and even if you're stronger right now, technically champion to champion, well, it doesn't matter. That big old grasp from Aodi straight into the Obliterate, but now Scout looking to make more happen.
Curse in a 1v3, and he might just win it at this rate. Will finally go down in the end, but he also took Aodi. He almost took Aodi with him. Hacker has gone too deep for this one. Stunned up and finished off. 2 kills for Aodi there.
And same issues we saw already from OMG. Overextended in a lane, Curse gets caught out, and then Hacker tries to go in to help and runs straight into the taunt from Scout, so not able to get the Dragon Kick to finish off any of the low health members of EDG. And again, EDG now zooming on ahead, whereas OMG are left with nothing in their hand.
The production crew on the Chinese side has a cruel sense of humor. They watch Curse into 4 people. They're like, that was OP, my man. Good job, dude. Oh, dear.
Well, he has been doing a good job. Look, he's 30 CS up in this lane, but unfortunately now you've got to answer for 3 kills on Aodi off that last play. The Andrew's Torment finished, Bramble Vest there, so realistically, Mordekaiser is going to start taking over this lane.
Yep, you'd expect so with that Bramble Vest just ruins everything that Curse wants to do, especially in that 1v1 matchup. Curse himself heading towards that death stance, so he will become very difficult to deal with during those team fights. But all things considered, let's kind of revisit these 2 compositions, because for OMG, the win condition was, you know, this point in the game. Force the fights, make things happen, win the game, snowball, right? But it's actually EDG that are the ones actually setting the tempo. It's EDG making the plays. So at this point, it's like, okay, where do OMG go from here? How do they actually win?
So the thing is, OMG, as of right now, are still stronger. You're still waiting for Hope to finish off a couple more items. Same when it comes towards the Graves. He's going to be hurting quite a lot right now, but you're still waiting for EDG to scale even later into the game. OMG, if they can find fights, are going to look great. The thing is, though, like, where do you try and find these fights? If I'm EDG, unless we again find some sort of pick before this dragon comes up in 2 minutes, well, we gift over 1 dragon. We don't have to worry about that too much. Then by the time the 4th dragon on the map spawns, we've completed our items. We're in the best spot we can possibly be. And it's right as we can fight for the dragon, for the barons, and everything else that's on this map.
Yeah, we've got some beer stats for you there, ladies and gentlemen. Powered by Harbin. Great stuff. I don't know what they said, but
speaking of drinking, did you know that V5 didn't win a single game last, or a single series last split?
I don't know if it counts when they're not playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, we've got to find something to kind of keep things a bit.
We just need a Nico lock-in. That's what we really need right now. EDG step forward, but there are people, so they can't really push onto the tower.
Damn people.
There's a quote from IT Crowd about people. And it's in an Irish accent, which is what reminded me of it.
Give me the story.
What
am I supposed to say?
I can't because there's swear words in it.
No.
But if you haven't seen IT Crowd, highly recommend it. It's blooming hilarious.
See, in my head, I was going towards that groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons. It's like, I hate Scots and other Scots. You know?
There are a lot of really great groundskeeper Willie quotes. Most of them are pretty offensive, though. He's actually not that friendly of a character. I just like the part where he's like, gets the lunch lady to grease him up.
Grease me up, woman! So good.
Not the greatest Scottish accent I've ever heard.
Look, I'm Irish. I can't really... It's hard for me to deviate into other things, all right? You're pretty good at voices, though. You are actually, like, genuinely good at voices. I've heard you around the apartment. You can nail a couple of these accents.
I don't know about that.
I'm putting you on the spot now. I can see you got a little bit red there, Joe.
I mean, you've not actually given me any kind of request, so I have no pressure on me whatsoever right now.
Oh, yeah, you can
Do you know who's got pressure on them? EDG. Because there's a Drake up in 35 seconds. And OMG are the ones with the mid-game composition here.
Do a dragon,
Isn't that right,
Do a dragon noise. That's what I want to do. That's my request for this. I want you to be the dragon.
I don't know.
But either way, we're going back to this. EDG looking for that pick we talked about. Not able to get onto Icon. So still, if EDG do fight for this objective, they're in a relatively okay spot, but definitely SMLZ is in a really strong spot with this play. The Rune King and the Rune's Hurricane. You don't quite have that second item finishes Icon, but still hurting a serious amount. So OMG, if they can find the fight that they want, they should be able to win out in this engagement.
You'd certainly hope so, but that's not really been the way the game's been going so far. Scout's Galio has been invaluable. 100% kill participation so far. Every single time something goes on, Scout's there and gets a multi-man knock-up. Curse has a flank, though.
TP coming in, but EDG want this front-to-back style of fight, and that's not what they're going to get if Curse gets in and disrupts that backline.
Bear in mind, Hope has his summon. Aodi knows what's going on. He's found him. And now the stun comes on through from Sora. Cosmic Radiance already, and Hope's in trouble. He has to flash to the back of the fight. Hacker stepping on forward onto Aodi as well. The Ren stacking onto Scout, but they can't finish off any of these kills. And once again, it goes the way of EDG. Once again, OMG fall apart in the fight. Moonlight Vigil for more. Icon barely surviving. Meiko just misses the dredge line though. And 2 walk away here. Oh, Winter War, not quite enough damage. That's going to be a 3rd Drake and another fight for EDG.
I feel sorry for Hacker. He did such a good job on getting Hope booted into the team, and there's no one from OMG to finish him off. He flashes out in the engagement, gets the heal, and is able to turn that around. Super disjointed fight from OMG.
Uh-oh, we've got an Aphelios. He's got a Crescendum. He can finish this off in about 2 seconds flat. This will be a 24-minute Baron unless Hacker or Icon can do something miraculous.
Icon does have his ultimate, so it'll be on him to try and burst out JunJia, set up for Hacker,
too late.
But it's gone.
It was now or never, and now's past 20 seconds ago. Never is the answer. Hacker, once again, not able to get there, and the gold lead is starting to build now for EDG, and I'm running out of hope for this mid-game composition.
Look, it's really not been going their way. Even doubling down on it, actually looking at the Spellbinder just completed there for Icon. But you see here, look at this engagement. Great kick coming through from Hacker, but with Scout jumping on towards SMLZ, not being able to have Icon double down and kill Hope, he gets into a great position. Severing Crescendum, could you ask for better better tools in this fight? And EDG just completely wiped the floor with OMG.
Yeah, these fights have been one-sided to say the least. 8-1 on the scoreboard, and I'm starting to lose faith at OMG here, to be quite honest. I know there's a lot of OMG fans out there. I know especially there's a lot of Icon fans out there, but this split, man, I don't know what happened in the off-season, but OMG are just not showing up to any of their games.
Yeah, their team fighting has just been so messy. The positioning of their carries hasn't been right. They're struggling to really get these front-to-back style fights that were how they found at least a little bit of their success in spring. And unfortunately, with Icon mispositioning, SMLZ not being caught out a lot of times by this Galio as well, the simplicity of what should have been this mid-game for them hasn't come to fruition.
I feel like they needed to be a bit more active earlier on in the game. They could have just forced some fights previously to this, and now EDG, they've got a Baron. They get to just walk around the map and sweep up all of this standing gold in the Tier 1 towers.
A large proponent of what has been that thorn in their side, though, is Scout on this Galio. Has been involved in every single kill for EDG so far, has been doing a great job of controlling the pushing power of Icon, then getting involved in these bottom lane plays when OMG are trying to make plays towards the top or towards Rift Herald. He's been working wonders so far in this game.
And I mean, you said it during the Champion Select. There's very little you could do about it if you're Syndra against Galio, because he gets the magic shield for himself during the laning phase, so you don't really have kill threat there. But also, during the team fight, whoever you try and ult, he just immediately drops the Grand Entrance, gives them the magic shield from the Shield of Durand, and it means that you're basically neutralized.
And you've got EDG now trying to drag OMG across the map. Icon has to move up towards this top lane, which means now with the man advantage that EDG have mid, they can start towards this next tower. And again, they're just rotating bot side. 20 seconds left on the Baron means they probably won't be able to get this turret, but at least they are controlling OMG and scaling so far. What was a very small gold lead, 1 to 2,000, has now scaled up to that 7,000.
This will be the 5th tower they get with this Baron buff, if they are able to finish it off, and they will be able to do so. That is a humongous Baron power play. They're now, what, 7,000 gold ahead of their opponents? This is very rapidly becoming an impossible game for OMG.
And look at the items that are being picked up as well. So you're going to have Hope backing now. He'll finish off his Phantom Dancer. Has that GA, oh, well, sorry, the stopwatch at least portion of the GA there. Going for the consumable there as well. No, swaps it out in the end, but there, you can already see that EDG, at least the thought process there when you're going towards some of these elixirs is, okay, well, we're going to finish this off of this next fight. That's why we're investing 500 gold in these elixirs, and I don't see why that wouldn't be the thing, because look at EDG. They're about to fight for this Infernal Dragon. They are so strong right now that OMG need a miracle play if they're hoping to contest.
And you just take a second here before the Drake's fight starts, if OMG even fight for it here. You look at the compositions and you think, how on earth EDG 3 dragons to 0 at this point in the game. That is not how this game should have worked.
And we said it to begin with. Hacker could have played down towards SMLZ and Sora, started getting these dragons, but we were 12 minutes into the game before the first dragon went down.
What's going to be cleared by both sides in the mid lane. OMG completely stacked up here, but they don't have position on the dragon, and Scout's found a flank. Dodges the stun from Sora, gets a 4-man sword into everything. Look at the combo from EDG. This is what we wanted to see. This is the old EDG back with a vengeance. Now Curse, he'll fall as well, and it's magnificent.
EDG front to back late game fights. They're fighting SMLZ.
Yeah, SMLZ exhausted, finished off. Easy pickings for Scout right here. They don't need the Infernal Soul. They won the game.
And we said it. Next fight was going to be it for EDG. They find that fight. They find the game. And EDG looking strong against OMG.
Scout looking amazing. We said that was the head-to-head Scout against Icon, and it's not even close. He lost his 100% kill participation though, 2-0 and 10 in the end, but